Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. We are inching up on that 5 o'clock hour and today's date is February 19th. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Now Megan, those roads were slick this morning when I was coming in. What is it looking like now?
Well, those road conditions are not favorable. We've not only had wet roads the past couple of days, but with those temperatures dropping, we've started to see freezing conditions and more snow has entered into the forecast, leaving those roads definitely on the hazardous side today. Not only are we looking at that, but we're also looking at fog that is going to be impairing your visibility this morning as you are traveling on the road. So make sure you're being careful if travel is unavoidable this morning. Here's a look at satellite and radar. Over the past 3 hours, you've seen how that system's moved, and right now we're seeing the heaviest of that snowfall just to the west of Jackson. We'll continue to watch as that snow progresses throughout the region this morning. Current temperatures this morning are definitely on the colder side of things. We are talking the teens and 20s, and this is not even factoring in the wind, making those feels like temperatures even colder. So buckle in. It's going to be a cold and snowy day, Caroline.
All right, Megan, thank you. As flood recovery efforts continue throughout many Kentucky counties, one group of people in Leslie County say they're not asking to be rescued. WKYT's Madison Carmouche talked to county officials who are making sure people get what they need and explains what exactly that need is.
We're in this for the long term.
John Newell is the District 4 magistrate for Leslie County and says when water rises due to the closure of the Buckhorn Dam, that is when the phone calls begin.
I'll call them back. What I've tried to do is get my people in my community and my district to call me, and that way I can relay it onto these other guys, the Fish and Wildlife.
Sergeant Homer Pigman is with Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife and says there are nearly 50 families they can only access by boat because of the water levels.
26 years I've been here about 5 times, so about every 4 or 5 years this occurs. And these folks, they know that this is going to happen, that the roads are going to get cut off when the dam is shut and the backwaters start backing up in here.
Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife is not alone in completing welfare checks. Agencies from other states like Indiana Conservation Officers and Asheville, North Carolina Fire Department are lending a helping hand.
And have this group come up from Asheville, North Carolina, knowing what they went through, and have them come up here and help. I've been in this county 53 years, and this is the most help we've had.
One of those helpers is Indiana Conservation Officer David Moss, who says he jumped at the opportunity to help his Kentucky neighbors.
Out here doing God's work and helping these people. Being able to help another person is just very rewarding in itself. So, I mean.
In Leslie County, Madison Carmouche, WKYT.
Newell says electricity for people in his district is back on, but he will keep in touch with people as cold weather rolls in. Officials are describing a mudslide in Letcher County as massive and a major issue, making it a top priority for cleanup. Residents in Fleming Neon experienced flooding into their homes Monday morning after the mudslide blocked the creek for flowing water. A homeowner who was in his house when the incident happened says it sounded like a car crash, and when he stood up to see what happened, he felt his house shift.
And as I was getting up off my couch to actually go outside, my whole house just moved over, about 2 foot, 1.5 foot area.
The Kentucky State Transportation Cabinet, Fleming Neon Mayor, and Letcher County Judge Executive were all at the scene to assess the damage. The mayor says the people affected by the mudslide will be a top priority. Thankfully, no one was reported injured. Yesterday was the second full day of cleanup in Pikeville, hit hard by the weekend's flooding. Student athletes with Pikeville High School are volunteering their time to help out their community during this time of need. Football coach Chris McNamee was hauling players and making stops across town assisting with the cleanup.
It's just something you got to do for your community. I mean, you should love the people around you.
I'm just really proud of them, and they come from good families who've taught them right, and B, they're learning the lesson of helping your neighbor and being servants.
Their school took in close to half a foot of water. The superintendent says they're hoping to be able to reopen Pikeville High School in a couple of weeks. And many other communities in Pike County are still reeling from the devastation of the weekend floods. First responders in the Marbone area say their community was one of many impacted by floodwater, with roadways broken, water levels destroying properties, and homes hit hard. Marbone Fire Chief Clinard Adkins says it's going to be a long road to recovery, urging the community to stay together and stay safe with winter weather now on the way.
It's just been terrible for the people. And then this cold weather coming in on top of us, you know, it's just a big cleanup process. It's going to take a while to get done.
The Marbone Fire Department is open as community outreach centers with emergency supplies coming in daily. In the days following the weekend's devastating floods, many community organizations are jumping into action. When pictures came up of the flooding, members of the Kentucky Education Development Corporation had a plan in place to help those in need. KEDC is in touch with superintendents in some of the hard-hit areas, like Pike County, to let them know help is coming. They are collecting monetary donations and pieces of clothing like hats, mittens, and boots.
We are also going to work with family resource centers and look for the need that the students have. For instance, it may be socks.
KEDC says they will be doing a needs assessment in the coming days to determine what school supplies will be needed. They will also send tech crews there as schools start back up if asked. KSP Post 9 is working with some partners to keep an eye on those in need. Troopers joined forces with the United Cajun Navy to begin canvassing neighborhoods impacted by the flooding. The group took a convoy of care through parts of Pike County, delivering cases of water and doing welfare checks. Trooper Michael Coleman shared a statement saying KSP will also be increasing its presence in flooded communities to protect against theft and property damage. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Still to come, the Trump administration defended their swift cuts to the federal government in a new interview as one agency tries to win back employees fired by accident.
And I'll have the latest update on the winter storm up next.